morning. What a way to start. Or wow, what a way to start. I'm Marge Pearson, and I am here to welcome everyone here and at home to the Center for Spiritual Living Tacoma. And we are really, really, really happy to see you today. Our musicians today are Yangco on the clarinet, and John Lloyd and Bill Lawson on trumpet, as well as our special musical guest, Tim Cox, with Pete Beresford on percussion. I'm not used to this. Our audiovisual team is Erik Perrohe and Max Ebersole, and our practitioners today are Mona Williams on platform and Suzanne Frazier holding high watch or consciousness in the back. And Mona's over here, and Suzanne's way back there. Thanks to our greeters, Eris Borseth and Ty Minkler, who met you with a smile as you came in the door, and to Lisa Faulk and her helpers who are teaching and caring for our children. Also, a special thank you to Kathy Jarlev for coordinating our coffee services. And our speaker today is Reverend Drew Ebersole. Yay! So please see your announcements for important information about all the fantastic things that are happening here at CSL. And I just want to give a pitch here in that we have our classes that are going to be starting up pretty soon. And, you know, with the world traveling so fast right now, these classes are such a wonderful way of helping us to get in tune with ourselves and maybe possibly just take a moment to slow the world down with some of these wonderful tools and the teachers that are out there to give us these tools and to share all of their wealth, their knowledge, their wisdom, their everything. So even if you're new or well experienced, I really encourage you to sign up for the classes that we have here going on here. And we're also connected with several other congregations around, so there are a wide variety of classes available. So practitioners will be in the room at the back after service holding a prayer circle. Please join them if you're in need of prayer. And if you're new today and comfortable raising your hand, please do so that we can say hello and give you a welcome packet. We also invite you to join us after service for refreshments and connections. And so the Center for Spiritual Living Tacoma is a peaceful, loving, and joyful spiritual community connected through a shared set of values, principles, and practices. We awaken and embody our understanding of our oneness with Source and all of life. We are committed to individual transformation, healthy relationships, and being a beneficial presence in our community and the planet. Our vision is to create a world that is thriving in harmony. Your presence does make a positive difference, and you are all most welcome here. And now it's time for our Minister's Moments with Reverend Drew.
Ty, are you back there? If you're new, raise your hand if you get a second, because we might have missed that. Anybody new here for the first time? We've got some folks over here, someone over there. Awesome. Thank you. She did say it, but we moved quickly through that. So, all right. How you guys feeling today? Is everybody like... I feel like I should have a parasol and be like on Bourbon Street throwing out beads, right? You guys are great with that. Let's hear a round of applause for that. That was just awesome. All right, take a deep breath in. Let it out. And you know what? That's good to dance like that. They've shown that when you move your body like that, actually, here's a little exercise. They have something called the victory pose. You know what that is? Hands up like this. Put your hands up like this. And notice how that makes you feel. Right? We're going to do that again in the service. You'll see why. It'll come to that. But there's a connection between the mind and body when you do stuff like this, when you rise up and you feel good. Because today, we are on fire. We are floating the river. We are on the adventure. You are exactly where you should be right here, right now. So take this time for yourself to nourish yourself spiritually, to align with this greater river of love and life, and to realize you're exactly where you should be, and you're exactly the person that you should be right now. There are no mistakes. It's all in divine alignment. Can I get an amen for that? All right, here we go. All right, we've got some announcements. We are having a town hall meeting. If you want to know more about what's going on and the business of our center, what's happening, the board of trustees and myself are going to host, and Leslie, we're going to host a town hall meeting September 21st. So mark your calendars. It'll be coming out email message as well, but that's coming up September 21st after service. And also September 21st is Susan Blake's class, Practical Mysticism. She's an awesome, awesome teacher. It says the 14th in your program, but it's actually starting the week later. So as we heard about signing up for classes, that's something you definitely sign up for if you're interested. Other class news, we're starting a course called Advanced Consciousness. This is for people that might want to become a practitioner, but don't have to become a practitioner. This is a 3-term, 27-week-long course that is a game changer. If you look at me and you look at all the challenge I've come through and all the stuff that I have dealt with, that class might have been a pivot point because it opened me up to something really deep and really rich in community of people that care and are like-minded. So there's flyers in the back. You can talk to Leslie, you can talk to myself. Linda Rapond, Reverend Dr. Linda Rapond, will be the main teacher going through, and then you're going to get all these wonderful other teachers like Bev and myself and Mona and everybody else, and we're going to be teaching together. And it's going to be really a confluence of perfect and diverse perspectives. So think about it. Put that in the old noodle right there, okay? There was a work party to make our place look beautiful. Anybody who was at the work party, can you stand up for a second? Please, Rollin, everybody, Ty, Jerry, Susan, Beth. Oh, Lisa. All right, can we all turn to Lisa and say, "We love you, Lisa"? That's right. Lisa, do you want to say something about the work party? Come on up here. Lisa's the only person on the planet that might have more energy than me. Here we go.
I like to say I was born this way. I went to kindergarten twice because they said I was too hyper for first. I'm 52. I'm still hyper. How is everyone? Anyway, so about 2 years ago, Rob and I raised our hands to help out with the landscaping. And since then, we've had people trickle through. Our team is quite small, but yesterday was our biggest work party ever. And thanks to everyone that came. And so we're just trying to tighten up the yard and do all that. So if anybody's feeling like they want to partake in pulling weeds and tightening up the bushes or whatever, we'll have our next work party at the end of September. Okay? Thank you.
And that's the power of volunteering right there. You own this place. It's yours. So we all give and give to it together, and that's why it's growing. Look, take a look around you. Look at the people that are around you. Look at the energy we're creating. That is real. You can bank on it, baby. All right. Spiritual tune-ups is today. Will all the practitioners please stand up for a second, or at least wave your hands? These are folks that have studied and worked and become experts at learning how to manifest in prayer. And they're going to be here afterwards, and myself. And what you do is just grab us after the service, and we do a little quick power prayer with you. And prayer means that what you're doing is consciously focusing on what you want to create with your mental abilities. And what these people do is help you, like a magnifying glass in the sunshine, to take that light and beam it in and focus it down so you can be a creative force. So see the practitioners. We talked about becoming a practitioner if you're interested. That's part of the heartbeat of this movement, is learning how to harness that power. So let's do it. Let's see. What else do I have? Oh, I think that's it. Oh, Darlene, come. She's going to tell us we're on the precipice of, drum roll, please, a little paint job in our wonderful sanctuary. And Darlene has been a force. Darlene's on the board. She's an author. She's an amazing human being. And she's also corralling in the refresh for this center. So Darlene, take it away.
All right. Have you ever noticed that when you ride the river, you notice that? When you ride the river, the environment changes, right? You're never in the same place 2 times. And that's what's happening here. So you're going to be noticing kind of like a construction space. This is going to be changing. The paint, the new color that's going to be back here is going to be this. I'll put it up later, but it's It's called Passive, kind of an ethereal, nice ethereal tone. The walls are going to be Soji white, still very neutral, but it'll bring a lot of light and openness to our environment. The lighting will all be changed out. There's one of the new lights that's back in that corner by the sound booth. All of the lights will be changed to that. Oh, okay. And the nice thing about those is that they have more lumens, so the whole space is going to be more illuminated. Imagine that. That's what we're about. Anyway, so we got change happening, and I'm so happy that you're here and able to be a part of this. We've got great stuff ahead. Thanks.
Well done, Darlene. Okay, gratitudes. Every week, these are in the back of your chairs in front of you. Grab one, write something you're grateful for, and I get to read them every single week. And here we go. CSL, the music, friends, and my animals. Being part of positive light for others, knowing my joy makes a difference, feeling the love and joy of others when I have a hard day. Drew, dancing on stage. I didn't read these beforehand, which I just demonstrated in real time, too. Okay. It said, and even dancing on stage and in his seat, even though he's a white guy. I can't help it, I was born that way, but if I could do it again, I'm just saying. And he looks good doing it. His excitement is contagious. And then it goes on to say, my foot is healing, and being able to go back to work and feeling useful again, not having so many bad days where I have to take time off and take it out on my partner. A prayer circle would be very much appreciated, and so it is. And I think that's someone, if they want to raise their hand, they can. That's Lisa Beth in the back. So let's just know for her for a second that she has complete healing in her foot. We're just going to take 10 seconds and imagine it completely healed for Lisa Beth. Here we go. And so it is. This is like a revival today a little bit. We're on the river. Does anybody want to get baptized? I'm just saying, not in Christianity or anything, but just like to be a human being, right? To be in love. Well, baptized in the river of love. How does that sound? Let's do it. My first outing in a crowded environment, the Mariners game, with a dear friend, and instead of my family, I was able to be with my friend and keep my anxieties calm, thanks to this wonderful, supportive friend that I found at CSL Tacoma. And she writes, success, right there. Beautiful. Well, let's get on with the show, and let's have some rock. Oh, we got one more announcement. This is Leslie Willis. She's our Director of Operations. She's a wonderful human being, and she does ministry in her own way with everyone every day, and she's a miracle. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome. Good morning. Here we are on this river. So Tracy and George were going to talk about the next Sunday's potluck, but Tracy was not able to make it today, so here I am. Good morning, everyone. We've had a lot of Food for the Soul events to attend this summer. How many people here have attended a Food for the Soul event? Awesome. And how many of you had a wonderful time? We have 3 events left in September, and this would be a perfect time for us to show our appreciation to all the hard work that the hosts have done in creating these wonderful events. For the potluck next Sunday, the theme is, let's celebrate the hosts of Food for the Soul. All right? Let's make this the potluck of all potlucks. There will be a sign-up sheet coming from the back to the front, down both sides of the sanctuary. I feel like it, director. On one side, you can sign up to help, and we need helpers in the morning before service for setup, and during the potluck, and then afterwards for cleanup. On the other side of the forms is food sign up. So if you could commit to bringing a dish, or maybe you don't know what you want to bring, but you want to bring a side dish or a main dish or bread, put that down. Show our appreciation for all the wonderful events we've had. If you choose not to sign up, that's fine, but please continue the sign-up sheets moving so that they don't get stuck somewhere on an empty chair. That way everybody gets an opportunity to see the sign-up sheet and sign up if they want to. Let's make it a great Sunday and have a good time. Thank you. Okay, back on the river.
All right, let's have some music. What do we say? Let's do it. And while they're getting ready, Sue Bob, can you wave your hand again? She did Food for the Soul and brought it here, and you've done a marvelous job, Sue Bob. Bravo and well done.
By the way, this morning when I walked up to the building, the brass ensemble was out on the yard playing that music. And I don't know how you can have a bad day and be listening to that music. That was excellent. Thank you. Lately I've been headed for a breakdown. Every time I leave my house, well, it feels like a shakedown. Between the street sweepers and the pushers, or the Lloyd, who may as well be butchers. Between the small-time and hustlers who all seem to feed upon each other. Oh, God, why you been just hanging out in that old violin while I've been waiting for you to pull me through. Lately every time I try to lie down, well, my mind just gets away. I can't even close my eyes now. Between the big fish ambition and the lovers using words as ammunition. Between these wood planks I've been pacing and this impossible dream that I've been chasing. Oh, God, why you been just hanging out in that old violin while I've been waiting for you to pull me through. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I say, I'm going to say something about the tune. Good morning. I'm just going to, before I do the reading, I just want to mention again about the tune-ups this afternoon after service. Instead of being in the prayer room, if you have a practitioner that you see that you'd like to sit down and have treatment with, pull them to the side. That's what we're here for today. We're here every Sunday for prayer, but today it's going to be a one-on-one. So don't walk out the door with something on your heart when we can sit and do treatment for you. Because as when we treat for you, we treat for ourselves as well. So, what makes a river so peaceful to people is that it doesn't have any doubt. It is sure to get where it is going, and it doesn't want to go anywhere else. Hal Boyle. There is no rushing a river. When you are there, you go at the pace of the water, and that pace ties you into a flow that is older than life on this planet. Acceptance of that pace, even for a day, changes us, reminds us of other rhythms beyond the sound of our own heartbeat. Jeff Renick. And so I'm just asking right now that you close your outer eye and think of this. I feel the Spirit of God flowing through me every day. I feel the Spirit of God flowing through me every day. I feel the Spirit of God flowing through me every day. And as we bring our attention back into this space, remembering that God is, and that God is here for each and every one of us, knowing that there is only the one life. The life of love, the life of peace, the life of joy and health and wealth and abundance, of relationships, the life that is the answer to all things in the universe. This life is the life of God. And I am one with God, and I know that each person within the sound of my voice is one with God. That God is the very presence that lives and breathes in as each one of us. And so today, I'm knowing that as our Reverend Drew brings our message, that we're all blessed, that we feel the flow of life flowing through us, wanting only the good for our lives, regardless of appearances. I'm just knowing that God is all there is. And with knowing this truth, I know that all things are possible in this world, regardless of appearances, regardless of what's on the news. The truth is, each one of us is whole, we're perfect and complete. And this life, which is God's life, is a life of peace, a life of love, a life of joy. A life that is filled with all the goodness of the world. And I say thank you, Father, Mother God. Thank you for this love. Thank you for this joy. Thank you for this peace. Thank you for stepping in the gap for me, Father, Mother God, when I can't see the clear roads and all I see is weeds. I say thank you for being there, for flowing through my life each and every day. I say thank you for Reverend Drew, for our musicians, for our audio team, for every person that volunteers to assist us, for our board of trustees, for our practitioners. Thank you for each person that is here, Father, Mother, God. And so now I release my word into the full activity of love and law, knowing that what I've declared is already done, knowing that my word will not return to me void. I let go, I let God, and I anchor this by saying, and so it is.
I was going to do this song called Wondering Why. I think that's on the program, but this other song actually talks about a river, and so we kind of thought, nah, let's go there. So that's what we're doing. Take me back down the cool water flows, y'all. Let me remember the things I love. Stopping at the low where catfish bite, walking along the river road at night, barefoot girl dancing in the moonlight. I can hear the bullfrog calling me on. Won't let my rope still hanging from the tree. My feet were down to shallow water. Shoot fly, dragonfly, get back to mother. Pick up a flat rock and skip it across Green River. Up to Cody's camp, I spent my day on. With flat car riders and cross tie walkers. Oh, Cody Jr. took me over, said you're gonna find the world is smoldering. If you get lost, just come on home to Green River. Thank you, everybody. Oh, thank you.
Way to go, way to go. Good job, good job. Look at the music we're getting this morning, man. On the river. See, really, I wanted to be a rock star. That's as close as I'm going to get right there. That's good. All right, how you guys doing this morning? Good. Are you ready to take a ride on the river? Yeah. Are you ready to go on the river? Yes. Well, guess what? You're already on it. You're firmly and squarely on the river right now. So why is this such an incredibly accurate metaphor for our existence? Because this is the cosmic river. Darlene alluded to it. Whether or not you want to be or don't want to be, you are firmly in the flow of the cosmic river right now. Your soul made an agreement to come to be born into this river and this adventure of life without any institutional memory of what came before, what's going to come next, because you have to be on the river with full presence, full awareness. This is your life. And today's about a wake-up call to being on that river of life and accepting everything that comes with it, the good, the bad, the ugly, the perfect, the wonderful, the terrible, all of it, because it's all the river of life. And that's where we are today. This is Henry Miller. The world is not to be put in order. The world is order incarnate. It is for us to learn to harmonize with this order. The world is not to be put in order. The world is order incarnate. It is for us to learn to harmonize with this wonderful river of life, this wonderful flow. And that's the truth, because nothing in this divine creation is out of order. It may not be pleasant. It may be tough. It may cause us to want to rise up in challenges and learn our strength, which is what we're doing now in many areas. We're going to get stronger. We're not going to fall back. We're not going to fade away, because we are firmly floating in the river. We are in this together to win this together. And that means all of us in this cosmic river. I just want to share with you that the other reason we have this is because this essence of flow, we'll talk about this, because we are in this flow constantly. And if we wake up to it, we get to fully immerse ourselves in it. Here's another little story about a river I want to just tell you. There were 3 men that wanted to cross the river and had no idea how to get across. So the first man knelt down and he said, "Lord, grant me the power and the strength to cross this river." And then through a metamorphosis process, he grew in his power, and he geared up, and he dove in that river, and he swam, and he swam, and he gargled, and he swallowed, and he pushed past the rapids, and he got across the river. Woo! Exhausted, he made it across the river. And the next man thought, well, if it worked for him, it's going to work for me. So he knelt down and he prayed, "Lord, grant me the skill and the stamina to cross this river." And the man was guided to build a canoe, so he chopped down a tree, and he carved out this canoe out of a single log. And he carved out a paddle, and he got in, and he forged the river, and he forged the river, and he got across with splinters in his hand. Exhausted, he laid down on the other shore and said, "Shoo, I made it." And the third man said, "Well, if it worked for both of them, surely it worked for me." And he knelt down by the river and he said, "Lord, grant me the wisdom and the intelligence to cross this river." And suddenly he was turned into a woman, and he got up and he walked across the bridge. I'm sorry to my male counterparts. I didn't mean to sell you out, but that was just too good right there. There's something we can learn through all of that. But we're in the flow. We're not crossing the river. And what that brings up to us is that's how often we think about this, getting across the river or fighting against the river. Just take a deep breath right now. Just surrender to the flow of where we're going. You cannot control that current. What you can control is what you do within that current. And that's what we're going to talk about this morning. So flow is change. And change is the immutable law of the universe. Everything, and I mean every single thing that you can think of or imagine or feel or see or be, is all this fountain of effervescing energy that's coming up and rising, sustaining, and falling away over and over and over. And that's good, because that keeps us fresh and alive and here. Where we get stuck is in we don't like some of the things that happen, and we only want the nice passive days that float us gently down the river with the sunshine, and there's plenty of those days, but there's lots of other days where it's rainy and stormy, and there's rocks and rapids and waterfalls and all of it. And your peace doesn't live in you just finding a path to the passive river and the sunny days. Your peace lives in you embracing the river as it is and learning to go all in. Your peace comes from your commitment to this existence, commitment to one another, and commitment to life itself. That's where it lives. So the river teaches all these great lessons as we're flowing in it. And the obvious one is it's the softest element on the planet. It will hold you, and you can float in it, and you can guide, but it's also a force to be reckoned with. It'll carve through. If you've ever seen the Grand Canyon and you've watched the power of a river, you've seen a 14-mile wide, mile deep gouge in the earth that the river has carved through. And that's very much like the neurons in your brain. When you are in that river and flow, you create pathways and neurons that feel alive and connected and bright and joyful and hopeful and real and resilient. But if you're not conscious, you'll create neurons that are fabricated around worry or fear or anxiety. Take a deep breath again. What do you want to commit to, given a choice? And that choice is about practice. The other thing that the river does is it doesn't get hung up on obstacles. It moves effortlessly around them and through them, finding its way back to the sea. So what's going to happen is you were born in the basic gentle streams of life and cradled through. You become an adult and you're on the full river, and eventually you reach the sea. That's inevitable. And when you reach the sea, you're done, you rise up, and you start over again. It's that flow. Guess what? That's you. You're in that flow. Nothing you see about yourself is solid or real. This isn't what you think it is. This is just you energetically in the flow, renting space. You're renting this body, this spacesuit you're wearing. You're just renting it, using it to become more evolved as a soul. And that's why we're here. The other thing it teaches us is that flow is a good thing. So many of you know about flow. Artists and athletes talk about flow, right? I just want to mention this a little bit. Flow, at its essence, living in the flow, is about synchronizing with the natural intelligence at work in the universe, that river, the universal laws and the way that things work. Flow invites us to transcend the limited perceptions of our identity and reality and tap into an underlying unity of the universe and our true nature. Tap into and align to unity and our true nature. As you look at me today, as I look at these faces out here right now, I see truth and unity and divinity in every one of your eyes. That's real. You can believe in that with all your heart. Don't be confused or deluded by the illusion that there's anything to have or get or hold on to absolutely here. There's no battles to ultimately be won. It all expresses and shows itself out perfectly. And you are exactly perfect as you are right now. Take a second and just think about that. Everything you've ever worked for or gotten to do in your life has led you to this place right now. And this is exactly where you should be. No mistakes. That is being aligned with the river. Studies show that embracing flow state, a sense of deep immersion and enjoyment in activities or life or in relationships or in a spiritual purpose, offers benefits, numerous benefits, including increased happiness, well-being, enhanced creativity, productivity, accelerated skill development, reduction in symptoms of depression, anxiety, greater self-control, higher motivation, adaptation to challenges. Flow improves overall performance by enhancing focus, reducing self-consciousness, increasing self-awareness, and there's a distinct difference, providing a deep sense of intrinsic reward and control over one's actions. If you ever wondered what you can control in this life, what can you control and what can you not control? What can you not control? The weather. Events that happen. Actions of other people. Who said that? Wonderful, exactly. What can you control? Ourselves, our attitude, our actions, our own personages floating on the river. That's what you can control. You know, Wayne Gretzky, famous hockey player, talked about flow, and he talked about everything slowed down in the moment. He said he'd be coming through with a hockey puck. He'd be moving through a line, and suddenly everything just like slowed down. And he could see it almost in that time where he was moving faster than the situation itself. And that's how he could find out where to place the puck, where to pass it, and where to put it every time. When you were in that flow, you were absolutely able to connect with that and slow down and be present. There's a famous story of Joe Montana in the Super Bowl playing the Cincinnati Bengals, and they're down by 6 points. And he gets in the huddle, and they've got maybe enough time to get down and score a touchdown, but it's going to be ultra tough. And you'd think he'd come in, guns blazing, and say, all right, let's score. We got to do it. We got to do it. He stopped. He took a breath. And with his team in the huddle, he looked up and he said, I think that's John Candy in the third row. John Candy, the famous comedian. And they all looked up, and it was John Candy, and he waved. And they all waved to John Candy. And they came back, he said, all right, let's go score a touchdown. The ease and the humor that he brought to that moment brought them back to the huddle, and guess what they did? They marched down in about 7 plays, scored a touchdown, and won the Super Bowl. That was in the flow. The flow means I'm not fighting so hard, I'm not struggling so mightily, I'm just being present where I am. So, I want to read this quote, because this is also about knowing what the flow is. When you know that you're eternal, you can play your true role in time. When you know you are divine, you can become completely human. When you know you are one with the universe, you are free to become absolutely yourself. It is eternity now. You are in the midst of it. It is about you in the sunshine, about you in the water, about you as the butterfly and light, the air, the river. Now is eternity. Now is immortal life. We keep projecting out that it's going to be, I have to be immortal, I have to, you know, my brother often says, he's a little bit afraid of dying, and he says, I want to live forever. He says, so far, so good. But the reality is, if you live in the now, you are immortal. Right now, you're eternal for all of time. So these are things that we often do that cause us to be hung up or not be able to be in the flow. And the first one is, we cling to the rocks on the side. How many of you hold on so tightly to the way things were, the way things you think they should be, or the life you wish you had had, or the whatever it is, the things that you think you didn't get, and you're holding on to this rock with the current just rushing against you? Who can relate to that at times? Bloody knuckles and hands that are clenched and, oh, please, just this I got to get back. I got to get to this thing. I can't let go of this. And inevitably, what happens? Inevitably, you get ripped away from that rock. And you get pushed downriver anyway. So the first big lesson is, don't cling to the rock. Because change is the immutable truth of existence. And you cannot help but be part of that change. It's going to happen. So don't cling to the rock. How many of you get caught in rumination about thinking on something? You know what that's like? A whirlpool. It's like a whirlpool. You're caught in that whirlpool and you keep going round and round and round. And you know what eventually happens in a whirlpool? I remember being on the river. Guess what happens? It sucks you down and won't let you breathe and then spits you out anyway. So all you do is waste a lot of time going nowhere in circles, round and round, and then you get spit out. So that's what we do here, is we learn how to let go of rumination. We learn how to let go of projection of what might go wrong or what might happen that's not good. Again, what you don't like. That's the whirlpool. Another one. We're famous for this in Western culture. Swimming upriver. Swimming up current, thinking everything you want's back up there. That's exhausting. Have you ever tried to paddle up a river? It's like, I was going one time for like half an hour thinking I was getting somewhere. I looked at the shore and I moved about 15 feet. I was like, nowhere. Everything you want is actually downstream. And many mystics talk about this by just turning your boat around and flowing to what you want. Because everything you've designed, everything we talk about in Science of Mind, everything we talk about in this ability to create what you want, guess what? It's all down the river. It's all ahead of you, waiting for you. The other one is what happens to us many times, which is we get overwhelmed and we feel like we're drowning. and our face is down, and we fall out of the boat, and we think, I'm a victim here, and you get crashed into the rocks, and you get pushed to the side, and you're gasping for air the entire time. And so life is like a struggle to move. But it doesn't have to be. I'm going to tell you a story of someone that I got to work with that had this realization. This is a bright young woman, and she had a child, and she was caught in drowning, in addiction, in being a victim. And she got deeper and deeper in, and she lost her child, and she couldn't be reunited with him. And then the more that happened, the deeper she got, and the more lost she got. And she woke up one morning on the side of a highway with dirt in her hair and vomit on her body and nowhere to go. And she put out her thumb because she had nothing else to even do, and a gentle soul picked her up and took her to a place where she got a meal and a hot shower and cleaned up. And from there, she decided, in that moment, she had choice to get her face up out of the river and stop drowning in the alcohol that she was having that was trying to kill the pain of realizing that she was on this cosmic river all along. And when I met her and we worked together, she had firmly reestablished herself. We worked together to get everything back. And she not only got visitation rights with her son, but she found a way for them to go to Disneyland together and be reunited. And she said, I can do this. This is mine to do. And she got an apartment, and she got a job, and she looked at me and she said, it's more beautiful than I ever imagined. My life is perfect. Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah, I heard that. But she got out of being overwhelmed. She stopped clinging to something that she didn't need. She got out of the whirlpools, and she learned to navigate the river. So how do we do this? How do we actually practice? We know what not to do, but what do we want to do? Well, the first thing is absolute presence. Just take that deep breath again. You're here now. Your eternity is now. You are alive right now. This is your presence. You are listening. You are hearing. You are moving. That's full presence. What else do we want to do? We want to practice. We want to practice everything that we know how to do. We want to practice gratitude. We want to practice connecting. We want to practice being in love with ourselves. We want to practice loving the ride. We want to practice sharing and compassion. We want to practice when you feel bad. That doesn't mean you're out of the river. It just means you're in a tough spot in the river. And you can talk through it. My incredible, wonderful wife back there, CJ. We just had 2 days of sharing all these feelings and unearthing them. And what it did was it freed us up to float on the river. It was a gift. And that's what you can do too. The other thing we can practice is learning how to connect. So for a second, I want you to look around, and I want you to shake hands, high five, hug, and we won't go too long because it gets wild if I do this. It's like out of control. But I want you to just feel that you are in a flotilla of rafts together right now on this river. You are a community that's in love and caring for each other authentically and genuinely. And right now, just recognize your partners on the river and say thank you. Let's go do that real quick. That was awesome, man.
Hey, thank you, Matt. I enjoy your talk. It's a blessing to be here.
Awesome. Come on back. All right. Can you sense that? Take a deep breath again. How do you feel? You are not alone. You are with community. This community is growing. And the reason it's growing is because we all need to know that we're not alone. We need to know that this is the antidote to isolation right here. Connecting up with your flotilla. That's what we should be, the Center for Spiritual Flotillas. The other thing we can do is practice some great lessons. So we went on a river rafting trip a few years ago down the Salmon. It was pretty wild. But the river guide taught us some great things. We were in little torpedo kayaks that were kind of air inflated and a little bit flimsy. And I was like, whoa, okay. But she said some things to me that I learned. And the first one is, worry is not preparation. Worry is not preparation. Okay? Do not conflate worry with preparation. Preparation is thinking, okay, I can do this, I got this, what's my plan? Let it go and ride the river. Worry is ruminating over and over again and thinking, I gotta do this, I can't do that. And you could see when people would see rapids coming, they would start to worry. And the thing they would do is they would lean back away from the rapid. And the thing that it would do is dump them every time. As soon as they hit it, woo! And then they're blah! The entire time. Worry causes fear, and that fear causes hesitation and limitation in what you're doing. So just, even though you're afraid, she said, lean in. Lean into that rapid with all you've got. And boy, I did. So much so that I think I was kissing my knees. I was like, right? But it worked. And I stayed in the boat. And I made it through. And I loved it. The other thing she said is, keep your eyes where you are presently and always just ahead of what's coming right now. She goes, if you do that, you'll never be off course. And then when it's beautiful, she goes, and it's lazy, then look around and enjoy. And that's what those beautiful days are for. Like today, if you go out there, or tomorrow during Labor Day, soak it in. Be one with it. So those are three basic things I learned. And I'm going to read this little poem from Thich Nhat Hanh, because I want you to hear this. Thich Nhat Hanh was beautiful, is beautiful, because he's still eternal, and he's in all of us, a meditation master. In the quiet river, I swim gently. The murmur of the water lulls my heart. A wave serves as a pillow. I look up, and I see a white cloud against the blue sky, and the sound of autumn leaves, and the fragrance of hay, each one a sign of eternity. A bright star that helps me find my way back to myself. The cosmos are filled with precious gems. Each moment you are alive is a gem on this cosmic river. It needs you to hear the pines chanting, to see the flowers blooming, to feel the rushing water, the smile and the marvelous look of your beloved. You are the richest person on earth. You have been going around begging for a living. Stop being a destitute child. Come back and claim your heritage. You can enjoy your happiness and offer it to everyone freely. Cherish this very moment. Let go of distress and embrace the precious ride and its magnificence on this river with all of your heart. Just think on that for a second. You are on this precious river. Be there with all of your heart. We talked about the sense of presence and practice. I also want to mention patience, which you heard in the reading. Just relax. This is not a destination sport. You're not trying to get to the end. You're learning how to ride this river. And purpose. Everything flows to get you to your purpose. And those rapids you encounter are thrilling. They may be tough, They may occasionally dump you, but they are essential to get you where you are. Think of all the rapids you've encountered in your existence and how you moved through them and how you are stronger today because of them. They strengthen you. They strengthen every bit of you. And earlier we did this. When you ride the river, one thing you have to do is celebrate it, like all get out. And one thing they do is when you come through a river, they say paddles up. So put your hands up and say paddles up. Paddles up! Paddles up! Yes! That is you recognizing that you can encounter and overcome anything, everything, and then it's all for your divine good. No rapid is out of order. Nothing is there to break you down. It's there to build you up every time. I'm going to read for you a story that I had written about my life. I had written some memoir stuff, and maybe someday I'll publish it, but for right now, it's in sections. And I was struck to find this. It just came up on my computer, and I found it, and I thought, this kind of fits perfectly. So this is an idea of how you encounter what you go through that can be really tough, and why you don't have to shy away from it, why you can just lean in. This is what I wrote. I was stripped bare. I left behind a broken marriage, my former identity, everything I knew about myself. I was only left with pieces of my former self, and they were almost unrecognizable, like a puzzle that had been thrown up in the air and crashed down in complete disarray. And there was no picture to hold up to create the image. I was starting from scratch. I remember walking alone in the woods when I'd arrived here in Tacoma at Point Defiance. Interesting name, since I was defying and fighting against everything at the time. I was feeling raw, I was feeling desperately sad, and I was utterly alone. It was a gray afternoon, and I came to a small secluded clearing off the path, a circle. And I recall lying down right there in the forest, feeling that destitution, and I just began to sob. I felt broken and alone, as if life had deserted me, as if I had deserted myself. And I looked up at the trees. My tears were mixing with the rainfall on my cheeks. And then, in an instant, it struck me. A rush of insight. I felt my flowing tears and the gentle rainfall merging as one on my face. Indistinguishable. They created a confluence and blended effortlessly together, and the realization of flow opened up before me. The water on my face was really the river of life. These challenges were rapids. They were tough ones, level 4 and 5. But an inner knowing that transcended my mind came clear to me so much that all of my cells began to vibrate with energy. Everything I was experiencing, and I mean everything, was essential as I moved into becoming awake and in alignment with the inevitable and remarkable movement of this cosmic river. I needed to be right where I was, to let go of clinging that I thought what I needed to have to be happy, to realize that I wasn't going to drown unless I kept my face down and panicked. I did not have to feel like a victim. It was all unfolding perfectly to get me where I was going. This was just the beginning of the next miraculous leg of my journey. So I got up, and I breathed a sigh of recognition and ease, and I kept walking down that path of the river. But I was now aware that I had been on the river all along, and this was my divine destiny. Nothing was wrong or out of order, and amazingly, I did not feel alone at all anymore. I felt a deep connection to everything. I felt as if I were being accompanied by a friend, universal truth, the oneness of life that whispered through the cool mist caressing the pine needles, a promise to never leave me because it was me all along. It's you. It's you right now. In this precious, perfect moment. Today I have the privilege of standing with you, and as I jumped in the river of my life, I never imagined. I was acting in Hollywood, I was living in New York, that I'd be a minister in Tacoma, married to an incredibly sassy and feisty Korean woman, having an amazing young guy up there in the booth, after all of this difficult, challenge, awful stuff, and yet I wouldn't trade it for the world. Having had a brain tumor that I've talked about many times, facial paralysis, it's all perfect. It's all divine unfoldment. You are divine unfoldment incarnate. You are that cosmic river. That river is you. Perfect. No questions asked. Now you wake up and you learn how to say paddles up, and you learn how to trust your flotilla, and you learn that everything you're encountering is not there to hurt you. It's there to make you strong. It's there to make you awake. It's there to make you appreciate this gift, this gem of life. So everything you've done has gotten you to this point. You are completely beautiful precisely as you are. You are a unique, and phenomenal gift as a sojourner on this river of life. And your life is in divine flow. You're exactly where you need to be. Because it's a miracle. It's a miracle that you exist today. And again, that secret is the river was you all along. So paddles up. Paddles up. And I want you to ride the river with fearlessness and joy like never before. Go forth and take this river down. We got it! Woo! You know, that almost. Anytime you cry, it's like being part of the river. Anytime you feel or laugh or love, it's being part of the river. Never doubt that everything is in perfect divine unfoldment. Even the events we're going through are all because we're going to be moving on this river together. Humanity, it's inevitable. So, if our greeters would come forward, take your beautiful, wonderful offering in your hand and know that you are contributing to the river graciously and gratefully with everything you got today. And we're going to say our prayer together. Ready? Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. With infinite gratitude, so it is.
Where's Pete? Where's Pete? There he is. You give us a one.
of abundance in your existence. You are affluent with love on this cosmic river. Thank you and bless you for your generosity. Appreciate it. Oh, we have final prayer. And Mona is a force. You should know that. She's a wonderful force and a beautiful member of our community.
I like the stillness. So today Reverend Drew talked about us being in the flow of life and the flow of the river. And the song that we just heard, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Father, Mother God, I know that your presence fills this room. I know that your presence is in the very breath that I breathe, in the very breath that each person breathes. It is the presence, the divine, infinite power that's flowing in and through me and each person within the sound of my voice. Each person that is not within the sound of my voice, because God is all there is, and there's only one. So I know today a healing has taken place, allowing us to know to let go of the side of the river. Flow and know that God is right there to support you. And God is the very divine presence that's living in, as, and through you. God is there. So I'm knowing right here and right now, Father, Mother God, that we have been blessed and that we are the blessings. That Reverend Drew is our blessing. The message he brought today was to allow us to open ourselves up, let go, and flow. So I say thank you, Father, Mother God. Thank you for this day. Thank you for CSL Tacoma. Thank you for each person that is here. Thank you for our audio-visual. Thank you for our musicians. Thank you for our board of trustees. Thank you for the practitioners. Thank you for life itself, Father, Mother God. Thank you for family and friends and so much more. I know my word will not return to me void, knowing that it is all ready, wrapped up with a beautiful bow, and that God says yes. And so I release this and anchor this by saying, and so it is.
I have a feeling you might know the chorus to this song. If you do, feel free to sing it as we wind down here today. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is older than the trees, younger than the mountain, feeling like a breeze. Country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country road. All my memories gather around her, miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country road, take me home to the place I belong, West I hear her voice in the morning hour, she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road, take me home, country road. All right, bless you all. Thank you. Have a great day. Bless you.
Remember, you are the river. Go flow in perfect divine order and be the power of love itself today. Amen.